नमस्कार, वेलकम टू दिस वीक विद पद्म श्री रेसिपिएंट डॉक्टर सुधीर पारिक. डॉक्टर साहब नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका.
नमस्कार everyone.
Well, it is a pleasing feeling to sit with Dr. Parikh, but with you I also recollect we have just been through a day which was as hot as it can be, and it broke a lot of records. So, personally speaking, the way you saw this hottest day in ages and how it affects our physical system.
Well, of course, hot, humid day always affects the health of the lot of people, particularly those who has bronchial asthma, those who have bronchitis, those who have respiratory diseases. It affects a lot, and of course, it makes you feel tired. It makes you feel lethargic. And therefore, people with the respiratory condition should stay inside, get less exposed to the heat and humidity, and to prevent any recurrence or flare-up of their problem.
So that also, of course, any layman would tell that we should not get dehydrated and drink a lot of water, etc. But now there is a water, or call it the cultural flow, which is associated with certain festivals. And this hot day also coincided with Guru Purnima Day, which is observed, of course, to underline the importance of the relationship between Guru and disciple. So, Dr. Sahib, talk to me. And of course, as happens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted the nation on Guru Purnima. Personally speaking, how you feel the presence of a Guru is important?
Well, I think majority of the people do need someone to guide them, and Guru is a person who can guide you from for in different part of the day-to-day life. He will teach you how to respect other people, how to treat other people, how to be honest, how to be kind of helpful to other fellow community fellows, and also he will show you the kind of what we call in Hinduism a path to the moksha, or connect to God, whichever God you believe. Doesn't matter which one you believe, but Guru is, as you see, that Jesus Christ was Guru. Then all this our big Mahant Swamis, all those are Gurus, right? Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is Guru. So these are the Gurus who connect individuals to the higher up or superpower.
Absolutely. So I'll just add in this continuation that they say, as per Sanatan tradition, that Guru is a principle that reveals God to you, and ultimately you have to discover Guru within yourself, because that is how he is going to guide you. And I believe whether in the form of a person or in whichever way, through contemplation, you have also figured out a Guru within you, I think. And we also have that mother is the first Guru of a child. On the day of Guru Purnima, let me request you to dive into your memories, and what is the one key teaching from your mother that stayed with you?
Well, I mean, always be kind, respect others, and always remember those who help you to going up in the life and the career, and never forget them. Always you should be very thankful to the people, those who help you, and be honest, be focused, and be persistent. And by doing that, you can always achieve what you want to achieve.
So these simple sounding words are not easy to practice. So many people just stay up to words and they don't practice and they don't get the results. What happens many times when we leave the track results into disturbances. And I'll take you to France, Dr. Sahab. 5-6 days have passed and there is continuous violence, and especially first 4 days it started triggered with the shooting of a teenager by a policeman as per France laws, they have the right, if you stop somebody and you find that they are not obeying you, you can shoot that. What happened? And this guy was an immigrant, and that resulted into a massive violent protest. So you literally see France is burning. Now that puts a question mark on when you extend your kindness to refugees, because these are mostly teenagers who are now becoming a part of France. How do you see this whole thing, which is sort of making European demography appear different?
Well, I mean, you're talking about the refugees coming to the Europe?
Actually, these are intertwined, because this particular one.
But because see what happens is whenever the refugee comes to any country, whether it's America, Europe, or India, nobody likes the people who are in the country, those who belong to the country. Usually they do resist the people who are coming from the outside, because they are afraid that they may take away their job, they can take away their livelihood, they can take away their share of good life, right? So always it's a first reaction to, even in USA also, when all this immigrant came from the Mexico side and came to the New York City, there are a lot of Republican and a lot of conservative people, they will try to protest that, because they don't want too crowding, and they don't know who is coming, they are criminals or not criminals, and all those questions. So I think is bound to happen when there is a new breed of or new flow of the immigrant comes to any country. And then, but government's responsibility to educate the people that who are these people are, who came from the outside, they gave them the shelter, and how good they are, and then probably most of the violence happens because of the misunderstanding and misinterpretation. So once you educate the people, then I think chances of that kind of violence is much less. And it should not happen, because after all, you are helping other human being to settle in your country, and it will help him, the person who comes from the outside, also help country too, because then you get more manpower, you can get more smart people. I mean, look at that. In California, most of the restaurant and most of the mid-sized businesses are run by Vietnamese and Korean people, those who all came as an immigrant, or even Japanese who came as an immigrant in early 50s, and they all are doing so good for the American business. So I think immigrants always has a plus point.
Yeah. So going back to France for a second, and the way things unfolded, it raised a lot of questions, and because there were images of the historical library of France burnt, many cars throughout the streets. The kind of Europe that you may not imagine was visible, and people are still going through, and then finally they had to put 45,000 boots on the grounds to prevent it from escalating, and they ended up arresting about 2,000 plus people. So things are almost out of control. In this context, the question of how you assimilate. So you bring your culture, but if the harmony between the culture, we have similar situations in India also, but this is very horrifying what we just saw.
Yeah, but again, it happens everywhere, more or less. Even we came, even Indian, we Indian came here in early 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, luckily we came as professionals, doctors, engineers, and those people.
Legally, you came legally.
Legally, yeah. But even, but then afterwards, all the family came legally. But there are so many illegals are here too, right? Even from India. There are about 500,000 unaccounted Indians are living here, those who does not have any status. So we are not saying that those are the not good people. They are good people, but they have to come kind of in the legal route. And even though they are not legal, still they are working hard. They are making money, and they are even paying the taxes to the government. So I think this thing happens everywhere. When this immigrant comes from the other country, always there is a resistance, and some resistance are more or less, but then it's government responsibility to make sure this kind of thing should not happen or does not happen.
So how government is going to discharge the responsibility, of course, determines how well that particular leader is going to serve the country. But then there are certain issues which people sort of connect the dots and they reach to certain type of ideology, which results into manifestation of violent protests at different places. And in this context, another European country, which you must have heard recently, there is this guy, two guys, they burnt a holy book in front of the people, and they said that this is the freedom of expression. And that has created a lot of outbursts in the Islamic nations, and naturally so. Now, people are trying to make a point using the democratic tools, which serves, which doesn't serve also. And I'll bring another reference and seek your response to this. The Khalistani movement in America also, they attacked the Indian consulate in San Francisco and they burnt it. Now, how is Indian government responding to it? And the light of Prime Minister Modi's recent visit, is USA working with government of India to prevent such things from happening?
Well, it's very deplorable and very condemnable what happened about this Khalistan attack on the San Francisco consulate. And I'm sure Indian embassy, ambassador, they are working diplomatically with the US counterpart. And not only US counterpart, but they have to work against the Canadian counterpart. Because is all this happening from the real source is lying in the Vancouver area, right? So Canadian government should also be helpful to us. And I'm sure yesterday only I was kind of listening to our Foreign Minister Jaishankar, and he was saying that they are very actively involving the US government administration as well as Canadian administration. But they have some doubts about Canadian administration because there is a conflict of the interest, because the current Canadian government, it's a democratic government which takes a lot of, they have a lot of vote bank in that area of Vancouver. And so they are kind of a little soft, but they should not be soft, and they should take action to kind of quell that kind of unnecessary terrorist activities.
Absolutely. So hope things improve, and as we conclude, the final reference is a positive one, and that is the celebration of 4th July. 4th July, as every year, a lot of fireworks and very high spirit among Indian Americans also. And when you recollect the celebration of 4th July and any particular thought that you associated?
Yes, I mean, as you know that 4th July is Independence Day, and Independence Day is extremely important in everyone's life. Those who believe in democratic environment and freedom of the speech, freedom of the religion, freedom of doing business, those all are, they appreciate the 4th of July. And I appreciate 4th of July personally very much because as you know that in 2005 I got Ellis Island Medal of Honor. That Ellis Island is, as you all know, that where the 300 years ago first European came to this country, this land. And it was kind of immigration, entry point. And they have an excellent museum there, how the European, those who are, looking for better life, they all came from different European countries to this country. And I won that honor in 2005, but not only that, but that time they selected 5 people whose name was gone into the entry of that museum, which is a historical museum. And I'm very proud to say that my name was selected there.
Wow.
Not only, so that's not honor to me personally, but it's honor to whole Indian American community. And that shows that we Indian American, we are democratically, loving people for the democracy. We believe in democracy. We treat everyone equally, despite of their religion, their creed, their belief, their anything else, but all human beings are equal. And that's what even our government in India, Narendra Bhai Modi's government, also following the same path. And that's why in India, in spite of the 1.4 billion people, democracy is thriving well in last 75 years.
Wonderful.
So I think I would like to congratulate our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi ji, as well as his administration, and we all Indian American, we are proud of it, and we hope that our democratic values remain intact and we prosper together.
Wonderful. And your parting words for our viewers?
So I think, dear friends, we just celebrated 4th of July. Always believe in democratic values and try to always oppose or protest against those people who are not believing in democratic values. Always treat every human being equally, whether it doesn't matter what color they are or what creed or what religion they follow. They all are equal, and we must give them respect. And once you give them respect, we'll get the respect in return. And so please, and always feel proud that you are part of you are living in the world oldest democracy, and you are coming from the world largest democracy. So all Indian Americans should feel proud of themselves. After saying that, God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American, and I love you all. Enjoy the 4th of July, Independence Day. Thank you.